So I've had some questions about what Aletheia looks like at home, and I just thought I would share with you for a few minutes. So first, to my families that have pre-K or kinder, or who are just having Aletheia be their enrichment day, meaning that you're only coming for the day, you have no plans to complete the curriculum at home, like you're not going to do Story of the World or Land Animals, you're coming just kind of for friends and just for some fun, then I would say you just do your normal school at home, and Aletheia is its own thing. There is a section in the guide that talks about pre-K and kinder, what they're doing, and you can look at that and see if you want to incorporate that if you go to the library, or you're doing it like the first one. Well, that was an intro week, so that won't count, but like the first one, they talk about the book, how to make an apple pie and see the world. They're going to be doing the letter A, and they're going to be talking about pet careers. And so that is an option for you to explore those ideas more or not. And if you have an older student and you're just using this as enrichment, then the only thing I would say is maybe bring a notebook so that when you are in English class, you can be writing and doing the stuff that they're doing in class, but you don't need to take that home and do anything with it. So then you can just stop the video because you're done, if that's all that it is for you. And we're glad that you're here, and that's great. Now, for those of you who are doing the lower grammar through the lower logic stage, and you're not just using it as enrichment, if there are a few classes that you're completing the curriculum at home or all of them, I want to talk about what that looks like for you. So the first thing is, in your guide, you were given memory work, and my kiddos are older. I have two boys in the program. They're almost 10 and 11, and so they just get this book off the shelf, and they go and work on the memory work. You have 2 weeks to do it. They're trying to attempt all of the memory work because they want that pizza party, and so actually they almost have it down after 1 week, so I'm proud of them. They've been working really hard. Now, I will say for the geography, this is the only geography we're doing in our home is memory work. We do read Window on the World because I have an older student, so we will be doing that as a family, but I don't have them draw at home. I didn't buy the draw books. They're just going to participate in class, but at home, they use the guide and they go to the back, which has more maps. They're enlarged, and they're using this key, and they're going through and memorizing the provinces of Canada, and they're actually halfway done. They've been working pretty hard. But that's all we're doing for geography. We're not drawing or tracing unless they want to. It's just not part of our curriculum at home that we're going to be doing. So they're just doing their memory work. But that is for their memory work. Now, for the Story of the World, I bought the audio, and they'll be building Legos and coloring and doing things while they're listening. I couldn't get the audio to work this week, so I actually did read the chapters, which is fine. It wasn't that much, but this is something I thought, well, they can do this while they're doing quiet time, and I can work with the older students. And so, the high schooler, because the upper logic is doing this as well. So they can all three listen, and that just takes something off my plate. That's all they're doing with history, and then they do their activities in class. We're not really doing much more than that. We do look at the map when it talks about places. When it mentions it, they might go find it. But that's kind of all led by them. For science, and it'll tell you what chapters to read, I should say, in the guide when you have, like, week 1, my kiddos are in lower logic. We look at history, and it says, read chapters 1 and 2 at home. This is what we did at Academy, and this is what they need to do at home. And I'm actually just going through, you probably can't see it, but I'm just check marking when we get the stuff done in green, so it might not show up. For science, again, we expect Aletheia to do all the messy hands-on projects in our family. We are just reading, and it tells you in the book what to read. So it says read pages 1 through 6. We already did that this week. That's all we did for science. It was a fun time. They enjoyed the book. They're loving it. Well, I guess that's not true. That's not all we did with science. They did love it. But I used this for their handwriting pages this week. And so that was independent work that they completed. You do want to bring this if you have it, because they do use it in class. We've made copies of things you need, so it's not important. But my one son, he did print in his brother's book on accident. But one is doing cursive and one is doing print. And I had them do those pages. And then the crossword puzzle, they're just doing for fun. That's in there, but that's kind of self-guided. As far as the grammar goes, so if you have a younger student, they're doing, I gotta move this for a second because it's underneath it, the fix-it grammar. I don't have any students doing this, but again, in the book, it tells you, okay, for grammar, we did week 1, lesson 1, so at home, you would complete lesson 1, and it has step-by-step directions for you as the parent if you wanted to complete that grammar. The other one, the Well-Trained Mind grammar that they're working on, they did day 1 in class. We already completed ours. We did day 2 and day 3. Actually, we're going to do day 4. On Monday, we took today off of grammar. It's very simple. It's very scripted. I actually don't have my students write in their books because if you look at the schedule, we're going to start back at week 1 after half a year. So I don't want them writing in the books. Plus, they're sharing. So I just do it as a one-room schoolroom. All 3 of them are in it right now. I have my 2 boys in the upper logic. So I just have them sit at the table and we work through the grammar lesson, and I use the whiteboard and they use notebooks, and it doesn't take us very long, and we don't write in the books. But it's your call as teacher, even if you want to follow it. And it has it in here. You can see for lower logic, there's week 1, lesson 1, and then you do lesson 2, 3, and 4. So it's like a 4-day grammar program, 15 minutes. It's not very long. And that would be grammar. And then all things fun and fascinating is what the upper grammar and the lower logic are doing. And so this was one of my sons has been doing IEW. This is his 3rd year, and the other one was his 1st year. And so they did a keyword outline in class. At home, when we look at it, it says complete the lesson. And so we did. We looked at lesson 1, and they had 2 more keyword outlines to do, and so they did that. One we did together, and I walked them through it, and then the second one, and then I had them tell each other their keyword outlines. If you don't have 2 students, you just have them tell you their keyword outline. And then for the other one, I just had them do it on their own, and then we checked it. Now, my one who's been doing IW for a while, he was like, I want to write a paper, and so he is. He's combining 2 of the 3 that he found a common theme about God's provision, and he's writing a paper, but that's just extra. You don't have to do that. And so that's all it looks like. It's just checking the guide to see, okay, what did we do when we were there, and what can we do at home? And it's up to you. Even if you just want to do some subjects and not others, that's fine. I will say if you have a younger student and you are using the memory work, don't feel overwhelmed by it. It is a lot, but students have an amazing memory. But you can pick certain things. Like you can just do Bible and catechism, or you could just do science, or whatever you want to do as a family. But memory work is so important. So I highly encourage you to be doing that or some other kind. Because it's just great for their brains, and it's kind of the stage that they're in with that grammar stage.